we're going to start off with our classwork. And we're going to take this table, and we're going to make a scatter plot, and we're going to learn about linear models. And linear models are just that. If you're given data, whether it's like in a science class or data in a math class, you can come up with models that approximate a fit to that data. It doesn't mean that the model's perfect. As a matter of fact, we would actually expect the model maybe not to be perfect for various reasons, maybe discussing why or why not that model's perfect ends up being the interesting conversation. And you can have a whole bunch of different models, right? If we learned more, the more functions we learn, the more types of models we can have. The functions that we've been working with right now are linear models. So we're going to talk about linear models, and we're going to put this data into our calculator. And there's a list function where we can put these in for our list. So if we go to our calculator, and if we do second stat, okay, nope, sorry. If you just hit stat, not second. If you just hit stat, you get this menu. Is that true? Yeah. Okay. And we are going to edit our statistics. So I'm going to enter on that edit. And then, I don't know about you, I have stuff in L1 and L2. Does anyone else have stuff there, or do you have blanks? Yeah. All right. If you don't have anything there, it's great. If not, you can arrow on top of L1 and hit the clear and then enter button. And then you can arrow over and up on top of L2 and hit the clear and enter button. And now we have clear lists. All right. Let's see if I can see what this table has. Okay, so, whoops. Oh, it won't go that small. Is that the... It won't do it. So we have 7.5, 8.4. So I'm going to type in 7.5, hit enter. Type in 8.4, hit enter. 10.3, 12.8. 10.3, enter. 12.8, enter. So those are, that L1 is going to represent our X values. And can someone read off the L2?
17.5. 24.
Okay. So essentially what we just did is we just used our calculator to make a table of X and Y values, and we're going to plot these points. And can you imagine like either being given like a rule, or being in like science class and collecting data and needing to do something like this? Does that make sense? Like, can you understand why you'd want to do it? Like to plot these points? All right. Thanks, Monty. That's all I'm asking. It's ninth period. It's a Wednesday. We're all sort of tired, and that's the sort of enthusiasm we need. It is. That's nice. We're almost there. All right. So I'm going to go to second quit, and I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm going to clear out my whatever I have in y1 or y2. And then there are a couple ways to get to your plot. If I just head up and turn the plot on, it'll just turn it on or off. I don't have control over what that plot's doing, though. So if I actually do second y equals, if I hit second y equals, I have my stat plot, and I can actually look at my first stat plot. So if I hit enter, I get a table, like a menu like this. I guess I can actually make this. Are people there?
Yes.
Is anyone not there? I guess that's a bad question to ask. You're breaking my heart. How are you going to do this? You're going to want that.
Yeah,
not mine. Yours.
I have it.
Okay. So here are a few things we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit enter and turn it on. And then the type, this is fine. It's saying it's a scatter plot. And that's actually what we want. There are other types of graphs you can do with your calculator, but we want the first type. And then it's saying, where should I get the X values? L1. Where should I get the Y values? L2. That's perfect. And for the mark that it makes on the graph, you can make it like a big dot, a plus sign, or a little dot. Whatever you want. There's no right or wrong for that. All right. So now that everything's set, I'm going to hit second quit, which is the mode button, and it's going to take me back to the home screen, and I'm going to hit graph, and I'm going to see absolutely nothing.
I see something.
Oh, really? I was hoping you were going to see absolutely nothing. Maybe, all right. Hold on, if I do zoom standard, will I see a little something? No, good, I see nothing. Still, nothing. This is horrible. What should I do?
You need to plug in stuff.
No, I actually, the calculator has plotted those dots, but my problem is, where did those dots occur?
Outside the window.
Outside the window. So there are a couple things you can do. You can be thoughtful about what the domain and range is, or if you go to the zoom button, the very last, second to last is zoom stat. And what this will do is the calculator will actually look at what you have in those lists and base a window on that. So if I go to zoom stat, I get something like that.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure that was the first thing I said. But you can check me on the screencast. You can go back and you can say, Mr. Bavarian, you were wrong. You did say nothing about changing the domain and range. Evan, question? Oh, sorry. No. But it looked like your hand was sort of in the air. All right, so there it is. Those are the 4 points that we plotted. So far, so good?
Yes, sir.
Anyone have a question up until this point? Got it? We're feeling good? Rafaela, how are we doing with the window? All right. Okay, so I'm going to go back to second quit the home screen. And now the calculator can actually draw the best fit line. It will draw a line. Actually, hold on. I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to take a second to talk about what a best fit line would be. You could actually imagine taking a piece of thread, maybe. All right. Sam, get rid of the gum. There's a trash can over by my desk. All right, so let's go. And if we were to shoot. So if we were to take like a piece of thread, you can imagine sort of like taking that piece of thread and I think you can imagine taking that piece, something like that. Now, can you imagine some arguments that might ensue?
Yeah.
Right, like Corinne might say, no, bring that thread down a little bit, right? Or Max might say, no, tip the thread a little bit this way or that way. But for the most part, can you see like we could probably come up with an agreement about where that thread should go that would be approximately best for all of those points? And it's definitely not going to go through all of them, unless somehow we got like this we were in this perfect world where all the points were actually exactly in a linear, all 4 points were linear, and that I think will happen rarely. Well, the calculator will actually do a couple of algorithms to find out the equation of the best fit line. And you need to know, at least for now, there are actually two really famous models. One is called the least squares model, and one is called the median line. And we're actually going to do, I think, a project in a couple weeks on looking at both of those lines and how you calculate those lines. For right now, we're not concerned about how the line's calculated. We're just concerned about the fact that these models exist, and the calculator is an awesome tool for finding those models right off the bat, because the calculator can do these calculations really fast that we can't do really fast. So we ready? Okay. First things first, I'm going to go to second quit, and I need to go to my catalog, which is second 0. And catalog has every single command that your calculator knows in it. And you see this A up in the top right-hand corner? That means your alpha lock is on. So this is what we're going to do. Instead of scrolling down through every single command, I think this list is probably like a couple hundred commands long. We are going to type in x to the negative 1, because that's the D button. So I don't have to press anything other than x to the negative 1, and it's going to automatically scroll me down to the d's. How'd you do? If it didn't work, I mean, you can actually physically scroll down. Sam? Oh, good. Sorry, I thought this was like, help me. This is, okay. All right, so we're in the D's. See, did you know your calculator had a day of the week command? I didn't know that. We're in the D's, and we're going to go to diagnostic on. Okay? And you're going to hit enter to get that command, but nothing has happened yet. You have to hit enter again. So hit enter again. And the diagnostics are now on, and I'm going to show you exactly what that diagnostic is in just a second. Ready? All right. Stat. Calc. Down to linear regression. So linreg stands for linear regression. Enter. We're going to do it twice. So the first one, we're just going to hit enter because we're so excited that something's going to happen. So we're going to hit enter again. And it tells us that... That's good. It tells us that, look, if you want a line that passes through those 4 points, the best line you could pick is y equals a, 1.66x, plus b, 3.189. How'd we do? Is that, I mean, people should have gotten that. Did you get it?
All the right answers is my A, B, or so.
Yes, same with me.
Let's try again. If you go to stat, calc, watch carefully, there is calc 4, which is linreg, which is ax plus b. There is also calc 8, which is linreg a plus bx. So if everyone picks 4, and we hit enter, that's what we get. Does that work? All right. Did everyone get the r squared and the r?
No, I didn't.
Okay, if you didn't get r squared and r, it means that you did not turn diagnostic on. And so you should go back and make sure you do the diagnostic on and not only pick it from the list, but also hit enter to make sure that is on. And if you hit diagnostic on and then do linear regression, you'll get that r squared and that r. I thought you would. All right. R is something we call the coefficient of correlation or the correlation coefficient. And R tells us how well the data correlates to a linear fit. 1 is perfect. How'd we do? Pretty good, right? Now, sometimes statisticians like to look at R squared. Because when you square the R value, you get a number that's a little further away from 1. Instead of 0.995, you get 0.990. And so what it helps us do is when we think it's really good, R squared makes us think, okay, it's good, but maybe not as good as what we thought. And here's the thing with linear fits. If you have an R squared of like 0.95, 0.96, you're looking great. Like that's a very strong correlation. But if you have an R squared of like 0.8, that's not a very strong correlation. Okay? So when we're talking about correlations close to 1, we actually do mean pretty close to 1. Okay? So 0.99, 0.98, those are all very close to 1. If you had, so this R is 0.995 or something, or 99, I forget, 998, 99. R was 995, right?
Yes.
If you had a bunch of data that looked like this, that would have an R value of negative 0.995. So an R value of negative 1 is also a perfect fit. So we have two perfect fits, R of 1 and R of negative 1. Guess what's the worst fit out there? R equals 0. It means that there is no correlation between these points at all. So if you had a bunch of points like this, right, there's no correlation between those points. You'd get an R value of 0. And that's what the diagnostics was that we turned on. We turned on that diagnostic to tell us, hey, how good does that fit? How'd we do? All right. One more thing, and then maybe... one more thing. All right. We can tell our calculator to do a little bit better. We can actually do, if we type in linreg, linear regression. If you ever type in second enter, it'll type in what you just typed in. If you hit second enter again, it will scroll through the last 10 things I think you typed in. So if you ever have a big long equation that you want to get to again, just do second enter. You can tell your calculator to do a few more things. We're dying, aren't we? I can tell. The faces are long.
I'm living.
The eyes are hardly open. It's tough. It's tough. Was there a question, a comment? No? All right. Thanks. That was nice. That's all, just once in a while. That's all we need to hear. If you put your data in something other than L1 and L2, you can actually tell your calculator where to find the data. I'm going to tell the calculator that the data is in fact in L1 and L2. So I'm going to do second 1, which is L1, comma, right above the 7, second L2. So this actually tells your calculator the data is in L1 or L2. Guess what? If you don't tell the calculator that, where does it think the data is? Nope. 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 Right above 7. If you don't tell it L1 and L2, well, think about it. Did we tell it what it was before? No. Where did it find it? L1 and L2. It automatically thinks... You did not say that, Michelle.
I did.
You did not.
No, but I think you were saying it.
All right, that was a good recovery.
I didn't myself.
All right. It automatically thinks L1 and L2. I thought you said everywhere. Didn't you say everywhere?
I said L1. You said everywhere.
All right. Fine. All right. Well done, Michelle. Excellent answer. Thanks. It automatically thinks L1 and L2. So we don't actually have to tell it, but we could tell it. And then I'm going to do comma, and here's the special trick of the day. We can actually paste the linear regression into Y1. And you can do that by going to vars, variables, over to y vars, which is y variables, function, which is the first one, and y1. So what this tells the calculator is, hey, x data is in L1, y data is in L2, and could you do me a favor and paste this function, whatever you get here, into y1 so I don't have to worry about cutting and pasting it myself? And if you hit enter, it spits out everything and it doesn't look like it did anything except if you do two things. If you go to y equals, all of a sudden, yeah, they put that in there. And now if you go to the graph, there's the line. So that's the piece of thread that the calculator would choose to put in. Not bad, right? So, I don't know. Let's do C. Use the equation to predict the y value when x equals 14. All right, how are you going to do that? Okay, so one way, trace. 14. Whoops, that didn't work the way I thought it was going to. Graph. I got one for you, Sam. When I hit trace, can you see up in the top corner? It actually tells me that I'm on my first point. Okay. You don't want to trace the points. You want to trace the equation. So, arrow down, and now you're on the equation. Now you can type in 14.
But you still need to make the window.
Oh, darn it. Why does it say quit?
I don't want to quit.
Why won't it do it?
You need to make the window to 14 at least.
Yeah, the window doesn't contain information up to 14, so I actually need to go to my window. And look at that. It was so close. I think I'll change my X max to 15.
Wouldn't it make sense to change to 14?
I like 15. Gives me room. I can be wrong a little bit. Or maybe if my next problem asks me for 14.8. And I'm actually going to change this maybe to 30. And now if I do trace, again I have to arrow, or you could arrow up, it doesn't matter, up or down. And now you can type in 14 and hit enter. 26.43. How do you type 14? Is that your question? So if you go to trace, notice that we're on L1, L2, so the first thing you need to do is either use the arrow to go up or down. And now, once you're whoops, ooh, what's going on? It's crazy. It's freaking out. The calculator's done. It's...
Anyway, I think it's that. I think wow, that's actually
Okay. Nice try. That was good. You can also, I don't want you to forget, you can go to vars, yvars, function y1, and you can just do y1 of 14, just like function notation in the home screen. And it gives you the same thing. All right. Some people, I think, like the trace thing a little bit better. I don't know. I sort of like that because it looks like function notation. Elizabeth! So now, see, my table's set for the problem we did before. Oh, no, the problem I did in my other class, and it has all these point... Oh, like, see, this, this is horrible. So I'd have to actually go to table set and do table start 14, go up by 1, now go to my table. All right, that's not bad. So it works really nice if it's a whole number that we're plugging in. Not that we couldn't do it otherwise. Like we could actually have our table start at 14.23 if we wanted to. Evan.
How did you plug a number? Like, let's say we're plugging 14.7. So anyway, we could just type in like 14.7 right here, and it would show it all.
In the table. So here's the thing. If you want, it will work. If you give it the X value, it will do the Y value. You want to see how to do that? Okay, so if you go to second table set, and we go to the independent variable, switch that to ask mode. All right, so that means it's going to ask us for the X, and it will automatically give us the Y. So if I now go back to the table, notice everything's blank. If I type in 14 and hit enter, it tells me 26.43. You like that?
Is there anyone who can like leave it on ask mode?
Sure. Just don't change it. Now, what I will tell you, the opposing argument is that any different from going to the graph and typing it in? Or any different from going to the home screen and doing Y1 of 14? But if this is the way you like, keep it that way. Why not? Now, there will be times that I'll go to the table and mine won't be in ask mode, so it will look different from yours, and you just have to remember that. Okay?
So if you said turn the dependent mode thing on
It just gives you two blanks. It won't, you can't...
Or if you turn the other one on to dependent. On stuff. Like,
independent auto.
Yeah, auto independent task. Could you put in the Y code and figure out the X?
I think we're going to find out. My guess is absolutely not. But hey, yeah, okay. So it is now asking me what I think the value for 14 is. It's automatically putting in 14, and it wants me to guess. That's not so much fun.
What happens to say like 30?
It actually won't let me press any buttons. Oh. How fun is that? So, if you want the value, you go down and you hit enter. I could see maybe doing it with like third grade, like guess what the rule is or something, and having the kids, and here it is, I have the lesson. I should be making money off this. Have the smart board, right? And then the kids get to go up and they say like 28.091. And then it like goes up and they're like, they, clapping in sign language, right? They're all clapping. Like, that'd be nice. Great. All right. It is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's how you clap in sign language.
yeah.
Wow.
Because they can't hear it.
Right. It's like jazz hands, sort
We
of.
used to do that in
Okay.
elementary school.
All right.
How do you wave in sign language?
I don't know. All right. We're getting there. That's actually, so that's what I wanted to share with you. And can you see that was very calculator intensive? Like we did a lot with our calculator. How many people have done that before? I know there's some of you who have, right? And so was that a little boring? A little? Did you learn anything new or no? All right, but nothing was new. You knew all that. All right. How many people never did that before? Okay, so you can see there's actually going to be like a little bit of a dichotomy over the next couple days because there's some people who have done this before. All right, Travis, holy cow. There's some people who have done this before, so they're going to feel a little bit more comfortable doing it. But certainly you'll get, I'm giving you ample practice to do it tonight for homework. All right.